All right, welcome to our second video for the finishing up our escape room. We're going to create a Google Forms digital answer sheet. I like to use Flippity for this, but Flippity's been down for a couple of weeks. So you can easily set this up with Google Forms. Either way is fine. And maybe Google Forms for some people is a little bit better because you can have a second page that says you win. So before we do that, we're going to go ahead and create an image because we have the image here webbed in for mine, but you don't have an image for your cover page. So we're going to finish up that cover page in here and then we will create the form. So I'm just simply going to come to my AI and say generate a cover page image for this story. Make sure you use the term generate an image. And you could give it anything else. Now, mine should know that it's a dragon and all that stuff. So it should know that. This is kind of slow, just so you know. It'll start to generate and it'll take a hot minute. So I'm going to pause this. Actually, I'll come back to this and we'll do the answer sheet. So to do this, you're going to create a Google form. So presumably you know how to at least make a Google form. Once you get into Google Forms, you're going to type your name. So I would say Multimedia Dragon Escape Room or whatever you're going to call it. And then for each of these locks, and I have an example here, but I'll create one separate. You're going to hit your plus button to add a question, and you're going to tell it I want a short answer question. So we want to have a short answer question over here. And then I don't give really any information out. I just put lock, number, whatever. Okay? I'm just going to say 3 because I already have a 1. I would say give specific notes about how many letters if you want, although it's probably already on your paper sheet. But you could say like 9 letters, capitalized first letter only, or whatever that is, okay, for yours. Now the big thing you have to know is you have to make these required, and you have to hit these 3 dots and tell it response validation. This is where you put the answer in, and if you don't make it required, they can hit next and win without typing in the answer correctly. Okay, so we're going to hit response validation, and you're going to say text contains, and then whatever yours was. So whatever my 9-letter that started with a capital letter thing was. So if it was potato, that's probably not 9 letters. Potatoes, maybe that gets me there. I think that's still not 9 letters, but it's okay. Whatever yours is, that's what you're going to put there. And I think it's a good idea to put nope, try again, and have a custom error message, just because otherwise it's kind of, weird. Now, if they get the right answer, nothing appears. But if they get the wrong answer, there is error text. Okay? So again, required, 3 dots, response validation. After you make the first one, then it's downhill. You just hit copy to duplicate, and then you just do the same thing. Lock 4, 2 letters, lowercase, text contains, let's say it's like a state abbreviation, MO, and then again, I could say nope, try again. If it's something that you want to give them a hint on that you think like they might have accidentally messed up, if it was a number and I need them to tell them to recheck their math, you could put a more custom error message here, okay? And you just kind of repeat this process, okay? So I'm just going to put these in here, lock 1, lock 2, lock 3, lock 4. You would have all your locks. Once you have them all, again, double check that they all have the asterisk here so we know they are all required and that you have your response validation. Then we want to have a second page to say, yay, you win, okay? So that's what this bottom button is, add section. So when you click that add section, it's going to give you section 2 of 2, which is like page 2. And then you can say you win. They can't get there until they answer all the required questions with the correct answers. Okay? So you can say you win, and then whatever your message is from over here. So I could come back to the congratulations, brave adventurer, or I might take the whole thing here, like this whole mess. And I could just put the message in here. So I'm just going to delete this because I have 2 of these. And there we go. So I'm just putting the whole mess in there. If you had a picture that you wanted to use, like generate, I'll say generate an image for the victory. When the person wins. Okay, that's not a very good explanation, but it'll probably work. And then what I can do is I can take that image, and then I can hit this little add image button here, so that the You Win page actually has that on it. Okay, now while that's generating, let's go ahead and publish this form, because you can't use it until it's published. So you're going to hit your Publish button on the corner. I have already done it, but if yours is not published, then you have to hit the button to publish it. Then after you publish it, you have to hit the Publish button again. And then you have to make sure it's accepting. You want to make sure anyone with the link can do it. Now, if you say that, if you hit Manage and you say that Responder View, you could say like it's restricted to your school, anybody in your school. I just don't. I don't see a reason to be honest. So I just say anyone with the link, and then you hit Save, and then you go back into there, and this is where you copy your link, because you need to give the kids the link, the responder link, not like an editing link. So I'm going to click Copy Responder Link. I like to use the short URL, so I'm going to click that and hit Copy. And then now we've got to give them that. So I'm going to go back to my Canva document, and I'm going to just like maybe pull up the notes here on my cover page, and then put like lock link over here on the side for me. And then if you're going to put this on like Google Classroom or Canvas or something, you might want to give them the lock link. Okay. Now on your document, I would probably recommend putting your lock link on here and maybe making a QR code like this example. Okay. So you could copy and paste your lock link on this page. If you wanted to do a QR code, you're going to use an app. So in Canva on the left, you're going to scroll down to Apps, and you're just going to type in QR code. And there's one that looks like the most basic of QR codes ever. That's the one you want. You click it, and you just paste in that URL for your form, and you hit Generate Code, and it's just going to slap it right in there. You scan that with a Chromebook, that should pull up this for your kids. And so then if that's on this page, and they've got the packet, somebody should be able to scan it with a Chromebook and use it. If your students are not one-to-one on devices and they don't have a way to scan it, you might want to give them the link, which is kind of long and annoying, so I would suggest putting that on somewhere where the kids can click on it so that they don't have to do all that heavy lifting there. Okay, so here, the Vault awakens, congratulations. So I'm just going to right-click and save this image and put Dragon Winner. And then I can go back to my form here and add an image and then upload that image into this form so that they have their, yay, you win. Okay. And then that's what that's going to have on that page. So that's kind of fun. Let's look at what the published form looks like. So I'm just going to copy the link again and go into another screen so you can see. Of course, I don't know all the right answers to get to my other one. But if you have it set where it's collecting email addresses, it's going to have an email box. You could set it to not collect that if you don't want to. And then there's all your locks. And if I type in something that's wrong, oh, okay, I already did this one. So I've got the first two typed in. Good, I don't have to worry about that. So this is potatoes. But let's say I just put a bunch of O's here. And then if I click off of it, it says, nope, try again. And this one is MO, but if I put in Missouri and I click off of it, it's going to say nope. Okay, so if I put my MO in there and then I fix my potatoes so it's correct, see how they all have nothing under them, nothing after them, and nothing below them? We know we've got it good, and now I should be able to click next. But see, while it says any kind of error message, I can't click next. It won't let me. Or if I have one blank, it won't let me. It's going to say this is required because we check marked the box, okay? Then once you hit next and they've got them all correct, then it's going to say, you win, you've got your picture, yay, hooray, all that good stuff. I also would recommend that you put on there, show this screen to your teacher so you know that they are finished and that they completed it. Now, you obviously could probably check your form and see, but I just like for them to show it to me, you know? Okay, now, again, if you want to, you could go back and add your cover image to your original. So I could take this off. Again, I'm not going to do this because I'm using it, but you should be able to just do a straight up copy and paste. So you can copy and paste, and then I could put my Melody of the Dragon over here, over on the side. That's simple. So there we go, friends. We've got our Escape room pretty much done. There's one separate thing you could do if you wanted, which is to add a certificate or create a certificate. We'll do that in the next video.